Joe, Joe does that you don't have the capacity to do is not make it all about himself.
Hold on. Off. Hold on. There's a clip. No, hold on.
That's a clip. There's got to be a clip out there of you not interrupting.
No.
Look that up.
I'm not interrupting. I'm having a fucking conversation.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
That's how conversations fucking work.
Agreed. Yeah.
We're 5 minutes into the new year and Bert Kriescher has already thrown a temper tantrum because he can't handle the truth. Watching Bert's friends roasting him on his own podcast is like watching a circus animal being paraded around in a cage for everyone to see. On the latest episode of Two Bears, One Cave, Ari Shaffir came on to promote his new comedy special coming out next week called America's Sweetheart, which is part of a new two-special deal he made with Netflix. In March of 2024, Ari also joined YMH Studios with his travel podcast, where he recycles the same old guests from everyone else's podcast, so it made sense for Tom to put him on Two Bears, seeing as he basically works for him now. By the way, in case I haven't mentioned this yet, Yanis Pappas and Chris DiStefano's podcast also joined YMH Studios a couple of months ago, so basically we get the same conversations with the same guests over and over again with a different background. But there was one podcast that was cancelled back in 2022, which involved Tom, Bert, and Ari. Since the infamous Sober October 4 recap episode, Rogan cancelled the series because Bert wouldn't stop interrupting everyone.
There's no benefit for Garth to go on the podcast.
Incorrect. First of all, they're very nice people. Both Tom and Christina are very nice people.
I'm going to be devil's advocate.
Shut the f*** up for a second. And they'd be happy to have Garth on and be nice to him, explain, we're sorry if this hurt your feelings, but if he went on your podcast, I think it would turn around.
For
1,000%.
No.
For Garth.
No, he's right. I'll tell you why.
Hang on. I'm gonna be. You guys
why
are
can't
all.
you let him talk for a second?
Because
no, it's his turn. It's Bert's turn. Then
sure?
Tom.
Yeah,
I think so. You shut him up now.
There is
he shuts him up, and then you'll shut me up.
But nothing benefits Garth in this.
While he was talking.
There's nothing that benefits Garth in this. I'm just being real.
Meanwhile, the Protect Our Park series with Shane Gillis, Mark Normand, and Ari Shaffir is up to episode 13, and it's one of the most popular fixtures in the JRE catalogue. And so Bert thought he'd bring it up with Ari, seeing as he's the only guest from both Sober October and Protect Our Parks, except like everything Bert Kriescher, it backfired.
Ari, as a member of both Sober October and Protect Your Parks.
Oh yeah, you're the only one.
You're the only one.
Please have some respect.
You're the only one.
Put respect on their name.
What's that?
Put respect on their name.
We've never watched an episode. We refuse to.
Okay.
We just think it's kind of ridiculous that we got replaced.
Yeah.
Just replaced. Wait, you didn't pick it.
I did pick it. I'm the one who
No, he brought them there.
I said, hey, we're going to Skankfest. We're going a day early. Who wants us?
You replaced us?
Yeah. Why? Because you were showing me some disrespect off the free drugs I gave you. No, thank you. And then so forth.
Mm-hmm. Wait.
I said, okay, I'll move on.
We got replaced because you drugged me and I didn't enjoy it? Hold on. I thought Joe replaced us.
I said to Joe and Tom, hey.
And Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to be in Austin. I sent them both texts with Norman and Shane. And I said, we got to go to Houston. We can stop for a day before. You want like a 4? And Joe's like, yeah.
Just so you know,
yeah,
I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm the only one that cares.
Yeah. Tom's like, I'm running an empire.
But also, I do go, it would be fun to get that Joe.
To get that laid back.
The Protect Your Parks Joe is not Sober October Joe.
Parks. We just get tuned up and all you do is chat. None of us challenge them to fucking workouts. None of us on Protect Our Parks go, let's do a push-up.
Wait, hold on. I think I'm understanding. Am I the problem?
You're the factor. I wouldn't say problem.
You're a fact. You're a key factor for sure.
Part of it is that when you come in, he's going like, how's this guy alive? You know.
He's like, let's help this guy, not self-help. Now, what's the opposite of self-help?
This is backfiring totally.
Bert purposely mispronouncing Protect Our Parks as Protect Your Parks because he's so butthurt about Rogan cancelling Sober October tells you everything you need to know about how petty he really is. He does it from time to time on different podcasts when he's trying to purposely disrespect someone, 'cause comedian. But it ends up just coming off as another symptom of his toxic narcissism. It's like a toddler chucking all of his toys across the room because he doesn't want to go down for an afternoon nap. And as for Ari bringing up the time he spiked Bert's drink with Molly on a podcast at Bert's house back in 2020, Yeah, I don't know why he'd want to remind everyone about that, especially considering how much shit he got for it and how angry it made Bert's wife, Leanne. I'm sure she'd appreciate him joking about it like that on Bert's podcast after he begged her like a little bitch for forgiveness and had to apologize to Bert's daughters before she'd let him back in the house. But just listen to how Bert makes everything about himself in this next clip and how annoyed he gets when Ari reminds him how much Rogan loves Shane Gillis, so Bert tries to make it about himself again, except it doesn't work.
Who's Bert and who's Tom in Protect Your Parks?
Protect Our Parks. It is, okay, it's all shifted.
Yeah.
So
Shane's Bert.
No.
Bullshit. I'm not Mark.
No.
Are you me?
I'm you.
You're me?
I'm you. Shane's Joe.
What?
Joe's Tom.
Shut the f up.
Yeah, Joe's
Wow.
Tom. Norman's me, and I'm you. It's Shane's show.
Oh, it's Shane runs it.
Yeah.
Really?
It's Shane's show.
Really?
This is my impression of Joe Rogan when Shane's in the room.
Do your impression of Joe Rogan when I'm in
I'll
the
do
room.
it as Churchill. I'll do Joe Rogan as Churchill.
Yeah.
Lord, oh no, Lord.
So he fans out on
Yeah, he
it.
fans out hard. We all do a little
hilarious.
bit.
For real?
But yeah, he loves him.
And who's me again?
I'm you in that I slow it down, and then they're like, unwanted advice comes my way. Oh. Yeah.
You get the, we can fix Ari?
Yeah, and I'm like, what? Doing great. Fine. Yeah, same as you. We're like, I'm not looking to quit drinking.
No, I'm having a really good time.
You're going to have withdrawals. And like, I'm not even going to quit. What are you talking about? You're like, I want to take a day off. And everyone's like, let's get you to the hospital.
The fact that Bert doesn't understand why Rogan even started Sober October in the first place, and he's trying to compare it to Protect Our Parks, is crazy to me. And just as a quick side note, it's funny how Rogan's buddies can finally see what we've been saying for a while now, that Rogan needs Shane Gillis more than Shane needs Rogan. It was only a matter of time before this happened. Shane's by far the funniest comedian in Rogan's inner circle, and Joe knows he has to keep him around to boost his own comedy profile. People forget how much younger Shane is than a lot of these guys. He wasn't part of Rogan's old touring crew way back when he was in between seasons of Fear Factor in the early 2000s. Gillis was still in high school then, and he didn't really get onto Rogan's radar in a big way until he was fired from SNL back in 2019, after which it took Rogan 2 years to have Shane on JRE for the first time in 2021. Bert, Ari, and Tom have been friends with Joe for decades and appeared on some of the earliest episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience back when Red Band used to annoy the shit out of Joe with his iPad. So while these guys are all obviously friends with and fans of Shane Gillis, there seems to be a bit of the old sibling rivalry with the spoilt youngest child. But Rogan's been so open and honest about why he started Sober October in the first place and also why it ultimately failed.
You know, when we first did the Sober October thing, that was part of the discussion. We were all like, hey, Bert drinks too much.
Yeah.
Like, let's and I smoke too much weed. Let's try to work this out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Turns out smoking too much weed is like way better for you.
I think it is.
He looks like a moon pie. A moon pie with a beard.
He's so swollen.
He's so swollen. I've had times in my life where I was drinking too much, where it's mostly because of comedy. Because at nights you're out with your boys and everybody wants to drink. They're all drinking. My friends are all drunks. They drink all the time. They drink at clubs. Like
I tried
Shane
to get
Gillis.
Bert to quit.
Bert is not going to quit.
Well, he asked me to help him quit.
He doesn't mean
Otherwise,
that. He just
I
wants you to talk to him. Just talk about Bert.
I'll
That's
talk
what he
about him.
wants. But that's what he wants. So
Oh,
let's
I'll
talk
talk
about
about
me.
him.
Let's talk about me,
I see.
about how I have to quit.
Got it.
Come on, talk to me about
Got it.
me. Let's make it all about Bert. That's what Bert likes. He's not going to quit.
Yeah, the way these guys openly shit on Bert when they know he watches all these clips is both sobering and terrifying at the same time. And again, Rogan's discussed this openly several times. They've all tried to help Bert in private, except he won't accept that he has a problem because he doesn't want to change. So they've resorted to openly mocking him for being an obese drunk who only wants to talk about Bert all the time.
And they did the billboard, and I go, that's not my stomach. My stomach's tight. And it was complete.
You have the craziest, most delusional perspective.
I think I have body
fucking
dysmorphia.
The text message you sent us the other day, I could do more push-ups than anyone in this group. You thought your belly was smaller than that?
That's me at like 220.
Right, but you, at the time, thought your belly was smaller than that.
I thought I was in great shape. I have legit great shoulders. Like great shoulders.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Joe, they're ripping through this shirt right now.
Yeah, but you say
No, you
things
just
and you
bought
don't
a
really
boy's
mean
shirt.
it, right? Like
No, I
when
kinda
you
mean
say
it. I
things
kinda
and you
mean
know
it.
they're
I
not
told you.
true.
I
I
told
kinda
you.
He does mean it.
He's
I kinda
kind
mean
of
it.
joking, and
I
I
kinda
kind of
mean
mean
it.
it, which
Right,
means he means it.
but
kinda
you
mean
say
not joking.
but you say things you know aren't true. Like remember that one time you said he could do the splits?
Rogan's the only person in Bert's life that actually has the balls to call him out on his bullshit and be honest with him. The problem for everybody else is that they rely on Bert in some way, shape, or form. Tom has a podcast with him, so he has to put up with him to keep the business relationship going. Tom knows that most of the views they get on Two Bears are people hate watching Bert because he's become such an overinflated lolcow. And think about all the comedians on Bert's payroll from his fully loaded tours. Every now and then they say the quiet bit out loud and roast him, but for the most part they all keep their mouths shut so they can all keep getting that check in the mail every year from the tour. Even Tony Hinchcliffe is on Bert's payroll, except he didn't hold back when he went on Two Bears last year after the Tom Brady roast and basically told them they bombed to their faces. But Joe Rogan doesn't actually need Bert for anything. Sure, Bert's got a few spots at the mothership when he's in town, but other than that, Rogan doesn't rely on Bert for anything these days. That's why I think he just said, fuck it, I don't need this in my life anymore, and only has him on the podcast here and there just for a laugh. The last time Bert was on JRE on his own was back in May of 2023. Since then, Tom's been on there by himself twice, and Shane's been on there 4 times outside of Protect Our Parks. And this is the kind of thing that keeps Bert up at night. You can tell it really bothers him, and when Ari finally said the quiet bit out loud and told Bert to his face why Rogan cancelled Sober October, Bert simply couldn't take it.
So do you think we'll ever do Sober October again?
We should. I got a new special out. That would be a good excuse to come do one.
Yeah, but can I be Joe?
You can be Joe. Let's make him not sit in that seat.
Okay.
Oh, you want to sit in the seat?
I want to be Joe.
What
Okay,
Joe
here's
does that
here-
you don't have the capacity to do is not
listen.
make it all about himself.
Hold on. Off. Hold on. There's a clip. No, hold on.
That's a
you. You.
There's got to be a clip out there of you not interrupting.
No.
Fine. Look that up.
I'm not interrupting. I'm having a fucking conversation.
Yeah, okay.
That's how conversations fucking work. And then I go, God, that's crazy. I would never be able to do that. And then, because Joe's done that, he goes, don't make it about you. I go, but that's how life works. I think of things and I go, that's amazing. I could never run 25 miles.
Yeah.
Or like I could never run 50 miles. But I'll be Joe. I won't make anything
Okay.
about myself.
Okay.
We'll put Joe in my seat.
I don't think we sit in the same seats there, do we? I'm not sure.
We always sit in the same seat when we do it.
We all sit inside. I'm going to a different seat next time. I'm going to put in earplugs so I don't interrupt anybody. Then I can't hear anybody.
Yeah,
that won't do it.
You just go, it starts now.
Maybe a muzzle.
wait.
You guys got to have a fucking ball gag here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be really fun for me.
How would you get French
So
fries
how would
in
you
around that?
run the show? How would it be different? What would you do?
Welcome to the Bert Experience. The Bert Experience.
Uh-huh.
I'm here with my 3 favorite people.
That's pretty good.
And I start and I go, obviously, Joe Rogan. He's like a big brother to me. I can't wait to get some great life advice from him. I got Tom Segura here, one of my best friends in the world. And obviously, a guy I can't live without, Ari Shaffir. Guys, welcome to the podcast. And then I'll go, I'm so sorry, I wasn't listening. Will you say that one more time? I'll do that a lot.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
what's the first conversation
I'm
starter?
sorry I wasn't listening. Say that one more time. It's not. You should just be
Okay,
listening.
I'll just be like, I was listening, and I
was
think that's a
listening.
great point. I will be like, I'm going to be Joe-centric.
Have you
So
guys ever?
I want Joe to be the star of the show.
Great.
Yeah, because it's my show. I want him to really shine.
Okay, did you see how Ari and Tom laughed after Bert threw his little temper tantrum because Ari hit him with a truth bomb? That's what I was saying before about Bert being used to all his enablers giving in to him and agreeing. Bert would never do that in front of Rogan. No fucking way. He knows he can get away with it with almost anyone else. Watching him lose his shit like that makes me wonder what he's like behind closed doors when the cameras are off. Interrupting like that is not part of normal conversation. That's just something that Bert's convinced himself of to cope with all the shit he gets for being obnoxious and annoying in conversations. But all the Rogan talk got super cringe after a while. They ended up doing a whole segment on what it's like to get a compliment from Joe Rogan.
A Joe Rogan compliment is better than a regular compliment. If it's about like stand up or bow, I'm sure bow hunting.
No, stand up, or like stand up is a big one. We were at the back at the store, and he was like, "You need to get a Netflix special." And I was like, "I don't know how to do that." He's like, "Be undeniable," and I was like, "What does that mean?" And he's like, "Just be undeniable." And I just was like,
That's Schultz's new podcast. I don't know. It just sounds like something I would say.
I wrote it in my joke book, and I was like, just be undeniable. And then you start, when you're undeniable on stage and you just crush all the time and people don't want to follow you, then you're like, oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, more like undeniably fucking shit. And once the Bert Kreischer stories started flowing, he couldn't stop. And almost all of them are about how famous Bert is, or how somebody recognized him in public, or just something to do with Bert being the hero of the story.
I had the best getting recognized I've ever had in my life. And Peter's in the other room. What I'm saying is 100% true.
Yeah.
So we're in Vegas. Isla brings her boyfriend to Vegas. He's never had In-N-Out. So Sunday morning, everyone's leaving at like noon. I raced In-N-Out at 10 in the morning to go get In-N-Out for everyone in our party. There's a black man and a black woman. They're dressed in, it looks like they work together. They look like they worked at In-N-Out. We thought they were the greeters. But they're screaming at the top of their lungs, get the f*** out of here. What the f*** I said? I'm on your team. I'll f***ing smack you. I mean, I swear to God, I'm not understanding this. If Peter walked in right now, he would nod and say.
They were doing that In-N-Out?
Outside the In-N-Out, at the front doors. And as we walk through the argument, he said, motherfucker, woman, goddamn it, Bert Kriescher. Holy shit, you funny as f***. Dapped me up, and he goes, I was like, yeah, thanks. And he's like, I walked in, he goes, I said, it was the f***ing funniest interaction I've ever had in my fucking life.
Of course, as luck would have it, Peter wasn't around to verify Bert's completely made-up story. The only bit that I believe is that Bert went to an In-N-Out. But this next story takes the cake. This is one of the funniest stories that never happened to Bert he's ever told. The lengths that this man will go to convince everybody around him that he's still famous is simply astonishing. I mean, he was telling another story and then literally interrupted himself to tell this story. This is classic Bert Kreischer.
Wait, and you wanted to kill her?
Did I tell you what?
Wait, you wanted to kill this lady?
Hold on, I got a better one.
What happened with that one?
Hold on, I got this better one.
I got to come back to that.
Tommy,
What?
did I tell you about the lady that wouldn't serve me at the airport? I get off the plane in Nashville. I get a celebratory beer because I made it. I'm alive.
Wait, you do a beer when you land?
What? Let's not nitpick this story. Yes.
Wait.
Okay.
When I land, I get a beer off the plane.
At the terminal?
Yes. I get off the plane. I go to get a celebratory beer. And Pete's with me, and I said, "Yeah, can we get? Do you have Stella?" She goes, "No," and I went, "Okay." Well, Pete's with me, and Pete's go, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Can you grab me a beer?" I said,
No
yeah,
offer
sure.
of what else they have?
I said, she goes, "No," and I said,
I already hate her.
And so I said, "Well, do you have any Stella-esque?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Great, I'll get 2 of those." She goes, "I can only serve you 1." And I said, "Well, no, my buddy just went to the bathroom. You know, he's gonna be back in a second, so you might want to just start pouring 2. He's the guy you just saw." And she goes, "I can only serve you 1." And I went, "Okay." And so she goes, "I need to see your ID." And I was like, and I'm looking around now. What happens here, little outside part of the story, everyone at the bar recognizes me. Every single person at that bar is a dude who drinks, who's probably heard me say, never quit drinking. And they're all recognizing me, and they're coming over and getting pictures. I give her my ID. She hands back my ID, and then she gives me a little sip of beer. Pete arrives at this moment. A little sip of beer. And I go, "What's this?" And she goes, "This is what we have that's like Stella." I said, "Oh, no, it's fine. I'll just take 2 of those." And she goes, "You know what? I'm not comfortable serving you." And
what?
I went, "Excuse me?" And now everyone stops. She goes, "I'm not comfortable serving you. You make me uncomfortable." So what I did, and I was not proud of this, I'm not proud of this, and I wish I didn't do it. I wish I could go back and change life. Is I said, "I apologize if I made you uncomfortable anyway. I have 2 daughters that are roughly your age. I would never want a man to make them feel uncomfortable. I'll go on my way." And I tipped her $20. And she went, "Excuse me?" I said, "Here's $20 for your trouble. I apologize." And I walked away.
You took the high road.
I took the high road, but the high road sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks. You know what she said?
What?
You know, this was even better. This is even better. You know, everyone at the bar watched this happen. Everyone at the bar was like, "What the f-?" I walked away. This is what upset me the most, is that someone goes, "Do you know who you just did that to?" And they go, "Who?" And she goes, "That's Bert Kriescher." Then she Googles me, and then she's got her own narrative, because he was a total asshole.
I
was a total asshole.
Yeah.
All the good stuff I did, none of that counts, because she gets to tell her story. I was so angry. I swear to God, my energy was like, what? Like more confused, like, hey.
So was it that you got loud? You did something.
I didn't get loud at all.
So she just.
What was happening was dudes were recognizing me, and they were and she was like, I think the energy changed in the bar when I showed up, and she couldn't place it, didn't know who I was. I mean, and I just didn't say what I wanted to say.
Yeah, it'd be so nice to Patrice it and just be like, "F you."
Yeah.
Get me your manager. You suck.
Okay, hang on. So Bert ended up giving her a $20 tip and walking away, yet he still somehow knew that she Googled his name to see who he was afterwards. Like, this is almost Brendan Schaub level bullshit. And I love how whenever one of these Karens are telling a story, they always leave the key details out of the story on purpose because they know that if we knew what really happened, it'd end up just making them look like a spoiled brat. This is coming from the guy who openly bragged about getting a girl fired because she told him that he couldn't drink at a high school function, and Tom sitting next to him nodding and acting all concerned like he didn't have a massive public meltdown at the airport over having to check his own bag. Like, literally, this went on for days. It wasn't some spur-of-the-moment dummy spit. On several occasions, Tom had the opportunity to stop it and say, "Fuck, what am I doing?" and just stop. Instead, though, he ended up leaning into it for days until finally, a couple of months later, he deleted every single tweet from that whole month. And Ari at the end saying that he should have asked for the manager. In all of these stories, it sounds like someone is just trying to do their job and follow the rules so that they don't get fired, but the rich and famous comedian demands special treatment, 'cause comedian. These guys all need a dose of reality. Seriously, what are we doing here, B? But hey, make sure you go and check out the link in the description to my Patreon if you're interested in my longer form uncensored content. I'm currently working on a massive breakdown video for you guys over there, covering the 2 Kill Tony end of year shows, so make sure you sign up so you don't miss out on that. While you're here though, hit the subscribe button and make sure you give me a thumbs up if you ended up liking this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.
Joe, I'm sorry I ruined Sober October.
You didn't really ruin it. We just stopped. Everybody got busy, and then we didn't do it.
This episode hit a lot of notes.
It did hit a lot of notes.